Three, two, one. What is up, everybody? You are listening, you are watching to the Book of Gaberock. I am your host, Gabriel Avila. Here we are in the month of April. Hope it is everybody, if you're going to be enjoying this Easter weekend. Wifey and I were just wondering, the mother-in-law always hosted Easter holiday Sunday, and it was actually really, really awesome. The family, I've been there, we've been there a lot of times, and she always invites us over to wherever we're at in the world. She actually always invites us, willing to fly us out and everything like that. Sometimes we come out there, sometimes we don't. I actually know I've been part of the family for so long that I've actually known how to help set up the whole thing. We go out to the garage, get the tables. I know usually the day before. I know how to buy. I go to Safeway. I help buy all the groceries and all that stuff. I know to buy all the drinks, stock up the bar. Not my first rodeo. I'll do all the things. And then now the kids, hopefully Lana and Benjamin, they better go over and help set up either today or tomorrow. And then depending on how many other littler kids, not necessarily them as the grandkids, but like the littler kids, the next lower generation, if they're going to have an Easter egg hunt. And then maybe our kids, they'll have their bigger kids Easter egg hunt. Usually it's going to be like smaller numbers of eggs, and then usually like $50 bills or whatever it is they're going to be hunting for. It's always a good time. I randomly like to just, not during Easter, I would just go into the house, find plastic Easter eggs, hide money in it, and then just tell the cousins and be like, randomly, Easter egg hunt, go. Uncle Gabe's Easter egg, non-Easter egg hunt. And then they just go. And then my mother-in-law is like, what's happening? I'm like, nothing. Don't worry about it. And she's like, Gabe, what are they doing? I'm like, nothing. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just saying. And she panics, but it's usually a fun time. We don't ruin the house. Or if they ruin the house, they better go reset the house. But whatever. It's just fun stuff with Uncle Gabe. But I'm hoping that the family, when they gather in Fountain Hills, is going to have a good time. We miss them, and I wish they're going to have a good time. I think the wifey and I, I want to have some sort of Easter yummies tomorrow, so we're probably going to head out today and figure out some good stuff. So if you're celebrating this weekend, I hope you're having a good time with you and yours. A lot of fascinating times going on in the world if you're not keeping track. That actually inspired the latest entry of the Book of Gaberock, as far as like high ops tempos kind of things. As things are happening in the world, and our role in the Air Force, having to respond to whatever is happening. Some of this stuff is never. Some of us have experienced it, and some of haven't. And I've seen it in our organization, and especially some of the airmen who have just, they're first year airmen, and they're very, very young. They're experiencing this, and like an entire spectrum of emotions is happening, right? You have people who are panicking and not necessarily knowing what to do, not necessarily how to process the information, getting very, very concerned, and sometimes they can't handle the stress. I've actually seen probably an uptick of mental health kind of stress happening in the organization. And then also some people who are maybe a little bit too wanting to get into it, and like stretching themselves to be like, I want to get into the thing. I want to get into operations. And it's like, whoa, take it easy. Hold on. We're in Florida. Take it easy, warfighter. Let's find our certain place and where we can contribute appropriately. And so and then everybody else somewhere in between. You have us old heads who have done this before and, experienced it, and try and, for me specifically, I kind of settle into, I have many reps and sets at this. And so many reps and sets at this. And so there's a whole thing of just settling into the muscle memory of, okay, this is how, at least for my function as a communicator, how our community contributes to the overall operations. And so I just settle into normal things I have done. So when I see other people panicking and creating new processes and new things that are either they're way more complicated than they need to be, or they're rushing to like, nope, whoa, whatever you're doing, stop doing that, please. That's really unnecessary, or you're heading down the wrong path. I find it in my role is like, wait, hold on, slow down, wait. Don't do that. Maybe we just settle ourselves and get like this and organize ourselves a little bit. Take a beat, organize ourselves. You'd be surprised how much, if you do it like this, other people outside of our organization will actually be appreciative, because we're going to be speaking their same language versus creating our own thing here and thinking that it's all, the most amazing thing since sliced bread. Is like, no, we should be speaking the same thing that everybody else does, because that's how actually people run operations. And so having to navigate those waters has been a challenging thing going on in our organization. So the homie next to me, he, as one of the other executive leaders, he got up and gave a really, really good speech and tried to calm the waters and make sure and gave us a focus. And he introduced the triple C's, and that was communication, collaboration, and clarity. And I really, really resonated what he said, because I've been repeating it like a lot. And so, because he said, if you just keep those three things in mind, whatever actions you're taking, you're probably rowing in the right direction, and we're going to keep on moving forward. So what he was saying is, giving people space to make mistakes, but also understanding that we're also part of a team. So we're not trying to outperform one another. We're actually trying to work with each other. So it's kind of weird though, when we have to say those things, we're not in a competition with each other. So don't be in a competition with each other, work together. That's all he was saying. It's a very interesting kind of message to say within an organization, but sometimes, whether you know it or not, you are inadvertently competing with each other when no one needs that kind of energy. So communication, collaboration, and clarity. Communication, just the simple thing of just talking with each other and realizing that talking is not a bad thing. Talking is a really, really good thing. And you'd be surprised where once you start talking, sometimes you get like these tangents where like, oh, I didn't really think about that. We should actually have that conversation at a later time. Sometimes you need somebody else to just kind of recognize, so you don't do like a squirrel moment and get off track of what you're supposed to be talking about. So you need people with experience. You need people, or you redirect people like, hey, please go talk about that and go fix that problem. You small team, go do that while we focus on the big problem here. Communicate, just making sure you're delegating and getting the team focused in the right areas where appropriate. Collaboration, making sure that people are not, you don't have 5 people trying to solve the same problem, unless that's what you're trying to do, but you have to make sure you're deliberately trying to do something, because nobody wants to have 2 people arriving at the same point. All of a sudden, like one person is trying to be like, no, my solution is the one that works. No, my solution is better. What are we doing? We're on the same team. We're not supposed to be competing against each other like that. And it's odd whenever maybe it's a pride thing, or I don't know what's going on, but like where it's supposed to be for the good for the organization, not for you to win against somebody else. And so like that's a super duper interesting type of energy when you see a teammate taking that on. I would say you probably want to take note of that and maybe keep that in your mental kind of memory bank, as far as, oh, okay, I guess, is that how you roll? Is that how you grew up? Because in my Air Force, that's not how we were raised, but okay, that's fine. And so it's just kind of interesting how people may or may not understand the importance of collaboration, and because they see it as competition, not collaboration. That's the wrong C. And then clarity, right? Just making sure, this is where sometimes speed is not excuse for accuracy, in my opinion, right? When you start moving so fast and people are like, well, we just had to do something. Like in certain instances, I understand that. Those instances are very, very few and far between, especially when in high ops tempos where you're blowing things out of proportion, where we believe that things are so time constrained, where like people's lives are in danger, when they really aren't. They are important, but lives are not really in danger. And I always kind of joke around, I'm a communicator by trade. And so when we do things in a high stress environment in the cyber community, I always joke around. I'm like, hey, we don't have like digital bullets flying over each other, as opposed to actual bullets, which are actual things. So how about we take a beat and make sure that we read context of what's happening here. Let's not go crazy and work so fast and rush to failure that we start just doing stupid things. Let's make sure we finish our sentences, make sure that we are working together, make sure we kind of clearly explain what we're doing, share our thoughts out loud, and be clear on what we're doing. And as part of that is, if you're in a leadership position, you owe it to your teams that you're leading to be clear on what you mean. Be clear on what you know, what you don't know. And that's okay. Just be clear about it, right? Your team is going to, especially in high ops tempo, especially on teams that have never experienced some of these things before, they are looking for leadership. They want you to be strong. They want you to be calm. They want you to be concise and clear and lead them. They don't need you to be panicky. They don't need you to be wishy-washy or anything like that. They're looking to you because you're technically supposed to have experience behind you and the confidence and everything that they are looking for in a leader to lead them. So be a leader, right? And so you can't do that if you're unclear with your messaging, or you're saying, well, maybe I would do that or maybe I wouldn't. So, sir, that's not helping me. What are we supposed to do right now in the next 2 hours? be clear, right? And so I really, really resonated with the triple C's. So I've been repeating it with my team over the last 30 something days. We've been under this high ops tempo. We still have to maintain that. We've now settled into a better, we are learning every single day, working together as a team, finding the right training moments where, hey, so let's take a beat, let's walk through this a little bit slower. Or we're like, no, I'm going to push you and be like, you need to do this before tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I'm going to only give you like 4 hours to get this done. Yep. Nope. Walk away from me and just go get it done. I'm not going to take, I've given you enough explanation. Just figure it out. I want you to show me what you can give to me in 4 hours. Okay. And then it's like, when we get to that point, I'll say like, hey, so this is a really good first start. Let's talk about it more. Or you did exactly what I asked, what I was looking for. Great job. Constructive, positive feedback. There's nothing, that's a good leadership tactic. This is not a stump the dummy kind of thing, or where I'm trying to test someone to make them fail. I want all of us to win. And I have to recognize that other people, some of us have more experience than others. And it's my job as a leader to make them grow. I want them to be better than me. And sometimes through the fire is how you learn the most. That's how I did. But I had people around me teaching me. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they were just throwing me into the fire without actually honing me. Sure, that's a tactic as well. I'm going to try and I'm try and not repeat that mistake as much as possible. But that's regardless of what I'm trying. We all make mistakes. My intent is going to try and be a better leader than I've experienced, and the best that I can do here, and hopefully grow my leaders, the people who are going to replace me, to be even better than I am. So triple C's: communication, collaboration, clarity during high ops tempo situations, or it doesn't matter, even in regular ops tempo situations. Those things can really, really help you be a great leader and help the high performing teams perform even higher. So maybe you need to do communication, clarity, and collaboration during Easter egg hunts. It gets wild out there. Maybe if you're going to be a parent who's going to be yelling at your kid about like, no, look for the yellow egg behind the palm tree behind the thing. You need to be clear about where you're guiding your children to find the Easter eggs. And maybe you don't necessarily yell because maybe they get scared. You just calmly tell them, hey, Hayden, go behind the tree. There's a yellow Easter egg. You'll find it. Keep looking. I'm pretty sure, as opposed to, Lana, get over there and find all the Easter eggs before your cousin finds them. That's probably not the best way to give guidance. It all depends how quickly we're trying to compete and win the family Easter egg hunt. It depends. I don't know how competitive your families are or how competitive your stupid parents or father or dad is, but it could be really good. Still, triple C's apply to in any situation. All right. I hope you all. So I'm about 2 weeks away from heading back home to Hawaii to go see my grandfather and go to see my mom in Vegas as well. So next week I'll have an entry, and then there might be a pause until whenever I come back. But yeah, glad that everybody. I hope everybody's being safe, and hit me up if you need anything. And look forward to talking to you soon. Peace. Can't stop, won't stop.